my name is Gerhard Schwant and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the pleasure of meeting with, now, pronounce your name correctly.
Steli, Efti. I was raised in Germany, actually, in an immigrant factory worker family. Dropped out of high school when I was around 17, 18 years old to start my entrepreneurial journey. And a few small businesses later, I decided to sell everything I had. I bought a one-way ticket to Silicon Valley in San Francisco, and I arrived here a few years now to start my journey here in the U.S. and with technology.
Awesome. Can you share the story where you sat down with your fellow entrepreneurs, with a team of people, and somebody came up with the idea to outsource a sales force?
What happened was basically my two co-founders and I had built a technology company that was end consumer facing. Everything looked amazing from the outside. But from the inside, the model just didn't work, and we were struggling to grow. And eventually we started thinking about pivoting over and focusing more on the business market and selling this solution to corporations and companies. And then the question of sales came up, right? How to build a sales force, how to start to actually approach and sell our solution. And we started thinking, well, why isn't there a company that allows us to outsource that critical function and allows us to scale up and down our sales needs depending on where we are in the market? After researching the market and after going back and forth on this idea, eventually we thought, well, if it doesn't exist and we think it would be really, really valuable, why aren't we giving it a shot and try to actually develop this?
You had the idea and then you executed and transformed that into a sales pitch within the hour. Explain how that went.
We had no connections. We didn't want to use our network. We wanted to go cold into the market. And we said, you know what? We're going to start cold calling these companies tomorrow and let the market educate us. Let us get educated about how to price this, what objections companies will have, who to actually sell it to, how to actually word it and pitch it and create a value proposition that will stick, and see what the market can teach us. I'm calling companies in the area, other startups, other technology companies in the area, to see if there might be a good fit for a beta program that we're running.
What is the beta program?
Exactly. What we do is we offer sales teams or companies a sales team on demand. Does that in general sound interesting to you?
Yeah.
My next set of questions would be all about understanding the customer lifetime value. So what is a deal really worth for you? The time to close. So how much time does it usually take you guys to close a deal? And then the sources of leads. Where do you get these leads from? Are these sources scalable? Are these sources accessible? If all these things, if the time to close was not measured in years, but in weeks or months, if the customer lifetime value was around 5,000 or above, and if the lead sources were accessible and scalable, we put you in a qualified bucket and we want to pursue you as a deal and try to do sales for you. And that's what happened. We did 2 weeks of cold calling. We had 7 companies that wanted to give us money, and we didn't have enough salespeople to offer that. So we had to pick 2. We picked the most different companies, diverse companies possible, so that our learnings would be as high as possible. And in week 3, we actually started selling for our customers, and we never had a chance to look back.
How did you keep track of your successes, and how did you, plot a chart, or what did you do? What kind of metrics did you use to find out whether you're on track or not?
When you do something truly new, you cannot usually rely on metrics. We all want to be metrics and numbers driven, but usually we lack the volume to actually make these numbers statistically relevant and significant. Right. So what you have to do is you have to actually get down and dirty and actually observe what people tell you, how they tell it to you, the words they use, the things they do. You really have to really listen, proactively listen, and pay real attention. Once you hear things again and again and again, it forms a pattern. And it might be that only 10 out of 100 people that you talked to told you this. That might be a good enough signal for you to actually pursue the idea or pursue the direction.
What was the underlying motivation? What drove you and what allowed you to go the distance and execute flawlessly?
So there's many things. I think that one, it was our own problem. We tried to solve something for ourselves because we were entrepreneurs. All our friends are entrepreneurs, or many of them. And this was a clear pain point. Sales and the lack of sales and failing, building a new company, new technology, new product, and then although it's valuable, failing in the marketplace because you don't know how to sell or scale sales is a tragedy, right? So this was a pain that was very personal and that we truly understood. Having done a lot of businesses and having done a lot of mistakes, which usually, all these mistakes can usually be summarized into making decisions too slowly, right? making things happen too slowly. If you make decisions quickly, if you move quickly, execute quickly, get results quickly, you usually are going to be able to learn and move and change until you get to something that works. So we didn't want to repeat these mistakes, so we had an even higher urge to get into action immediately. And we thought, well, if this is a sales service and what we are selling is our ability to sell, we should be able to sell ourselves first. Right? And this was also part of the pitch. Sometimes when people would tell us, well, I don't know if I can trust another company doing sales for us, we would ask, hey, how did you like this call so far? Right? And we'd tell them, hey, if you like this call, I'm going to be your sales guy. So we thought, why not measure ourselves up with actually, holding ourselves up to the standard that we're promising our companies as a value prop.